Mr. Unanue received his MBA from the Thunderbird School of Global Management in 2004. Will you please welcome and welcoming Andy Unanue to the stand. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you for the intro. I probably should have let you know you shouldn't read our webpage. None of that is really true, but thank you. Dr. Morrison, Patrick McDermott, Megan Petty, distinguished members of the executive leadership team and faculty, parents, friends, honored guests, and especially graduates. It's truly an honor for me to be here to speak at today's commencement ceremony. Looking out at all of you reminds me of my time here at Thunderbird. While I don't remember everything about those days, what I do recall vividly is who I was here with on campus. I met some great friends here at Thunderbird. Teresa, who we called Zeppo, Kurt, Tammy, Wes, Nicole, Jenna, Rubens, who we called Vovo, Marcio, especially my young friend Rafael, who I'll talk a little bit about later. And equally as important are those who weren't here with me, but remained with me in my heart and soul and my mind. My mom, Carmen, who I call Smooth, my dad, Joe, my brother, Joey, my sisters, Mary Ann, Mimi, Maribel, along with many other friends. Walking around campus after so many years and thinking about those friends, I was struck by a strong emotional urge, an urge to go back to that most memorable classroom on campus, the one where I learned more than any other. I'm, of course, talking about the pub. It was there that we learned to forge friendships, shape our goals, and decide what was next in life. I left Thunderbird with mixed feelings. We had all learned so much here, things that would leave a lasting imprint on who we were and who we would become. But I also knew I'd be leaving behind daily interactions with those special friends. So it is with these memories that I decided not to spend the next 13 minutes or so talking about me. I want to talk about these people I just mentioned, the supporting characters of my life, and 5 things that I learned not only from them at the pub here, but in the years since, and how they shaped my character for life. 1, family matters. My friend Craig often says, if you want to understand someone's personality, meet their parents. If you want to understand someone's character, meet their friends. I often say I have 2 families. My family of chance, those who are related to me by blood, and my family of choice, those who I share my life with. Thunderbird played a tremendous role in the latter. We obviously have no say in the family we're born into. Some people, like myself, are fortunate to have a loving, supportive family that also came with certain privileges. Privileges my parents made sure my siblings and I didn't take for granted. But my parents also made clear that while they provided me with certain external advantages, I was responsible for what was inside. They stress that the key to success was developing good character. And in order to do that, I needed to always surround myself with people who elevate my game and change me to be the best version of me possible. There is nothing more rewarding and more grounding than having a well-rounded family, not just one of chance, but also of choice. So be the person who creates a phenomenal family. Be the person who finds time to spend with those who are important and additive to you. Be the person who understands negative energy in relationships and avoids it. Be the person who is not ashamed to tell a friend that you love them and give them a hug. Be the Thunderbird who forms his or her own fabulous international family. Love them and learn from them every day. 2, courage. I can easily talk about my mother and father when it comes to courage. From my mom raising 6 kids with a husband who worked very long hours, to my father's very courageous actions in World War II, like the one when he earned a Bronze Star his first week of battle for saving his platoon after his commanding officer was killed. To both of them, having the courage to keep their faith in God after losing 2 children way too early in life. My sister Mary Ann and my brother Joey, may they rest in peace. But instead, I'd like to get back to my friend Rafael Cordy, Rafa. Rafa and I met my first day on campus, and we quickly bonded over our three favorite intellectual pursuits: booze, women, and cars. I was immediately drawn to Rafa's zest for life. Maybe that's because he was almost 10 years younger than me. In fact, his 43rd birthday would have been 2 days ago. So Rafa, happy birthday. I still love you. What attracted me most was his courage. I don't mean his lack of fear, although if you were to see him take chances in life, you'd know fear was not an issue. Rafa recognized that courage was not only the least common of positive human traits, but it is essential to strong moral character, and therefore something worth actively developing. Too often, we're tempted to do what makes us feel good. Rafa motivated those around him to actually do good. Rafa was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer at a young age. Shortly thereafter, he returned to Brazil and authored a number of inspirational books. He had the courage to fight cancer like no other, and he beat it. Unfortunately, after many years, it came back and eventually, on February 22nd, 2005, took his life, way too soon. The courage he showed in not letting it take control of his life was truly inspirational to me and something I will never forget. So go out and be courageous. Show the world how courageous Thunderbird graduates are by doing good things that will make the world a better place. Be the Thunderbird, like Rafa, who makes us all proud to say, I'm a Thunderbird. 3, take risks. Risks are a double-edged sword in the business world. Without risks, you remain stagnant. Take the wrong risk, and you can lose everything. In private equity, taking risks is a natural part of the beast. We take calculated risks on a weekly basis. It's a blend of due diligence, surrounding yourself with smart people who help guide you, and of course, gut feelings. Most people make decisions from one of 3 parts of their body. I would say 4, but there's kids in the audience, so 3 parts of their body. The brain, the heart, and the gut. I have been lucky enough to have 2 great business partners in my current role, Steve Flyer and Dave Beniamini. And they, along with my whole team, make the brain part of risk-taking much easier. But I understand the emotional appeal of the heart and gut. My advice is to make sure at least 2 of these 3 things are in alignment when you make a calculated risk. Journalist Amy Moran once wrote, "Mentally strong people don't fear taking calculated risks. They know that taking the right risks could be the difference between leading an ordinary life and leading an extraordinary life." Don't let fear of risk paralyze you. At the end of the day, you need to realize not making a decision is a decision in itself. And 90% of people's regrets stem from things they did not do and not things they did do that they wish they had not done. Now, that being said, I haven't spoken to Matt Lauer, Roy Moore, Harvey Weinstein, or Al Franken in the past few weeks, but my guess is they would fall into that other 10%. Balancing work life and home life will always be a challenge, but keep your priorities in mind, even when calculating risks. When my brother was sick, I risked my job by spending weeks at his side in a hospital. I don't regret for a second the time I spent with him before he passed, even if my work took a hit. I know Joey, as well as my sister Mary Ann and my pop, are up in heaven watching, wishing they were here today, almost as much as I wish they were here. I'm sure they know I could never have accomplished what I have professionally if it wasn't for their mentorship and guidance. More importantly, I would not have been half the man I am today if it wasn't for them and the lessons I learned from them. I miss them dearly and think of them every day, and those thoughts truly put a smile on my face, knowing I am a better person due to the time I had with them, and I am thankful for the time I did have with them. So whether it be business or personal, weigh the risk, understand what it takes to go the extra mile or extra step, and remember, we most regret what we did not do versus what we did do and fail. Again, can't speak for Al, Roy, Harvey, or Al on this, but. So be the Thunderbird that takes the right risks. Be the Thunderbird who lives an extraordinary life, not an ordinary life. Take those risks that will give you freedom. Trust me, it will make you a happier person. 4, be morally strong. Don't let others define you. It takes true moral strength to do the right thing. One only needs to read the nonstop headlines of prominent men behaving badly in the workplace to recognize we're in the midst of a huge social shift. As we rightly support and applaud the brave women and men who have the courage to come forward, we should remind ourselves there were plenty of people, some of them quite powerful, who knew what was going on, but failed to speak up and protect those who could not come forward. There is no doubt in my mind they knew what the right thing to do was, but they did not have the strength to do the right thing. It's not enough to know right from wrong. You must have the true strength to do what is right, even when it's difficult. Never let someone else define who you are. Never let the fear of what someone will do to you determine if you will do the right thing or not. That's why it's crucial to have a strong set of core values, to know exactly what lines you will never cross, which values you will never compromise, and the strength to do what's right. When you just took the Thunderbird Oath, you committed to opposing all forms of corruption and exploitation and take responsibility for your action. This takes true moral strength to not just identify right from wrong, but to act on it. This is not just how you build a successful company, but how you build true character. As my dad, the most moral man I ever knew, often reminded me, character isn't defined by what you do when others are watching. It's what you do when you think no one is watching. So be the person who stands up for someone who is not being treated well. Stand up and support someone who is being marginalized or mistreated. Be the person who defines who they are on their terms. Be the person who does what's right even when you think no one is watching. Do that, and I guarantee your reward will be far greater than any paycheck can offer, and you will be a Thunderbird who is proud of who they are. 5, kindness. Genuine kindness is another mark of character that I feel will lead to a true happy life. My father, while a very successful businessman, often remembered for building a multi-billion-dollar company, left his biggest mark in the world through his kindness. When I would tour the companies with him, whether it was the warehouse, factory, or the main office, he would stop and say hello to each employee we ran across, know their names, and actually want to hear about their lives. He genuinely cared about what was going on with them, and maybe that's why most of the 5,000 or so employees we had all called him Papa Joe until his death. It was these little acts of kindness that stuck with me, but his kindness didn't just end with those daily displays. It was also in some grander gestures, some I only discovered after his passing a few years ago. See, after he died, I was cleaning out his office and going through some papers, odds and ends of a remarkable life, but nothing surprised me until I found some papers I had never seen before. I discovered he bought a house for a longtime friend, a family priest, and his mentally ill brother, a house no one else knew about. There was also a stack of canceled checks and household expenses and medical care covering 20 years of the past years. No fanfare, no publicity, just a quiet act of kindness. That was the type of man my father was, and the type of man I aspire to be. The fact is that no amount of business success, no amount of money mattered more to him than his family, those of chance, and yes, those of choice. And if he had the opportunity and means to help, he would have, and did. No questions asked. And he would never look for anything in return. That, to me, is true character. He taught me, by his actions and his words, how important it is to respect everyone and treat them as equals, not just for their sake, but for mine as well, for my character. And that's how I measure success and the kind of person I want on my team and part of my family. Every day I strive to live up the goals of my role models. My pop, my mom Smooth, Rafa, my wife Marie, whom I love with all my heart, my brothers and sisters, and so many others that I do not have time to mention here. Their examples give me the vision to choose the best family I can, have the courage to help make the world a better place, and take the risks that will help me lead an extraordinary life. Their support helps me do the right thing, even when it is seemingly hard to do, and not let others define me. And knowing them helps me do all of these things with kindness. I hope if you take anything from these words, it is that a truly great person is one with the highest of strong moral character. I truly believe if you do think about these 5 things as you go through life, you will have the freedom to live your life with the strongest of moral character. Live your life to your terms, and in turn, be a much freer and happier person in doing so. I want to again thank everyone in my family of chance, and of course my family of choice, for all they have given me, especially my mom, Smooth, and my loving wife, Marie, who has done so much for me, I could not even begin to thank her properly. But I will just mention one thing she teaches me every day. Blood makes us related. Love and caring makes us family. I wish you all the best as you enter the next chapter in your lives, and I'm sure you will all be the T-Birds that will take all you have learned here at Thunderbird and show the world how you can change the world for the better. Congratulations for all you have achieved. Enjoy your day. Welcome to your family. Thank you. May God bless our troops who have the courage to sacrifice everything and keep us safe, and may God bless you all. Thank you and congratulations.